Egypt and Saudi Arabia discuss ongoing coordination on bilateral ties and regional issues. Egypt and Turkmenistan discuss investment opportunities. And Egypt's transport minister discusses Egyptian companies' participation in major development projects in Sudan. Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati discussed with his Saudi counterpart Prince Faisal bin Farhan the ongoing coordination between the two countries regarding bilateral relations and regional issues of mutual concern. The two ministers reaffirmed the importance of a ceasefire and the need to create conditions for launching a comprehensive political process that preserves Sudan's unity, sovereignty and stability. Minister Abdulati also expressed Egypt's condemnation of the atrocities and horrific violations taking place in the city of El Fasher, calling for regional and international efforts to support the Sudanese people and back their national institutions. Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati reviewed with his Turkmen counterpart Rashid Mirdov the key investment opportunities offered by the Egyptian economy to foreign investors. Minister Abdulati also highlighted Egypt's role in supporting peace, security, stability and de-escalation in the region, outlining the Egyptian efforts to uphold the Sharm el-Sheikh peace agreement and fully implement its provisions. The Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Dr. Ahmed Al-Tayyib, received the global thinker Professor Jeffrey Sachs, Professor of Economics and President of the Center for Sustainable Development at Columbia University in the United States, at his home in Al-Qurna, Luxor Governorates. The meeting included a cordial exchange of views on major global developments, particularly the challenges facing the region. His Eminence expressed his appreciation for Professor Sachs' fair-minded positions and writings, especially regarding Gaza and Palestine, which reflect a wise and conscientious intellect that understands well the message of all religions, calls for supporting the oppressed regardless of faith. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol will begin an official visit to Egypt from Wednesday to Friday as part of a tour that also includes the United Arab Emirates, South Africa and Turkey. He is scheduled to hold talks with President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on the occasion of the 30th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two countries. He will also deliver a speech at Cairo University to present South Korea's initiative in the Middle East. Minister of Transport and Industry Major General Engineer Kamel Al-Wazir met with Sudan's Minister of Infrastructure and Transport Saiful Nasr Al-Tijani to discuss the participation of Egyptian companies in implementing major development projects in Sudan. The two ministers witnessed the signing of a joint cooperation protocol to develop the current river Quay at the vital Wadi Halfa port, aimed at facilitating the movement of passengers and goods between the two countries. The meeting also addressed the congestion of Egyptian trucks at the Ras Hadraba border crossing for exports from Egypt to northern Sudan. The Ministry of Civil Aviation affirmed that reports circulating on some social media pages and news sites regarding a supposed study to establish a low-cost airline or to offer shares for contribution by banks or tourism investment companies are untrue. The ministry clarified that this information is inaccurate and did not originate from any official body affiliated with the civil aviation sector, confirming that the current plans are being implemented in accordance with approved policies with no intention to launch projects of this kind. The ministry also stressed that it reserves the full legal right to take necessary action against any parties that circulate or promote false news that could harm the sector and its achievements. Ahmed Al-Muslimani, chairman of the National Media Authority, announced the cancellation of the proposal to change the logo of Nile TV to Egypt News Network ENN. Al-Muslimani stated that the development team's proposal to rebrand Nile TV as ENN did not receive the approval of several council members. Therefore, it was decided not to formally present the proposal at the upcoming council meeting. The spokesperson for the Ministry of Health, Hossam Abdel Ghaffar, confirmed that there is no epidemic increase or change in the severity of respiratory virus infections compared to previous years. Abdel Ghaffar explained that data from monitoring sites across various governorates indicate that current infection rates are very close to those of the past 3 years. He pointed out that the viruses currently circulating are the usual ones for this time of the year, such as influenza, parainfluenza, adenovirus, respiratory syncytial virus, the RSV, in addition to COVID-19. Egypt's PHDC's 25 in the new administrative capital drew strong international attention, spotlighting investing in healthcare as a pillar of sustainable human development. Under President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's patronage, the third Population Health and Human Development Conference gathered global experts, policymakers and agencies to debate innovative solutions at the nexus of population, health and economy. Organizers showcase professional hosting and infrastructure, while Egypt's approach links health with education, jobs and production, prioritizing women and youth to drive inclusive, sustainable growth. Deputy Solidarity Minister Margaret Sarofim attended the closing of the first Green Youth Reels initiative, empowering youth on climate action through digital creativity. The event, organized by Our Land for Sustainable Development with CEDAR under the patronage of the Ministries of Social Solidarity, Environment, Youth and Sports and the Rural and Environmental Industries Fund, brought together officials, NGOs and youth creators. Speakers stressed climate action is no longer a luxury, urging joint work to protect future generations and raising youth awareness as a driver for sustainable developments. Ala Farouk, Minister of Agriculture and Land Reclamation, revealed that Egypt's agricultural exports have so far reached approximately 8.2 million tons, marking a significant increase of about 650,000 tons compared to the same period last year. Egyptian citrus continues to lead the country's agricultural exports with a total of around 2 million tons, followed by fresh potatoes at 1.3 million tons. Beans ranked third with a total of 283,000 tons. Sweet potatoes came fourth at 280,000 tons, and fresh onions ranked fifth with 268,000 tons. Minister of Electricity Mahmoud Aismat met with a World Bank delegation to discuss cooperation and joint work, as well as coordination and ways to strengthen partnership for future projects. Aismat pointed out that Egypt continues its efforts to become a regional energy hub, linking energy markets in Africa, Europe and Asia, thanks to its strategic location and key infrastructure projects. He also reviewed ongoing electricity interconnection projects with neighboring countries such as Sudan, Libya and Jordan, as well as the project under implementation to connect with Saudi Arabia, which is scheduled to become operational this year. Egypt extended Italian energy giant Eni SPA's concession rights in the Gulf of Suez and the Nile Delta to 2040, a move aimed at maximizing the country's oil and gas output and tapping unexploited reserves. Under the new terms, Eni will launch a large-scale 3D seismic survey to explore new hydrocarbon prospects in the region, using advanced imaging technology to identify resources that could boost Egypt's production profile. The Central Bank of Egypt said it would offer its second three-year sovereign sukuk, valued at 3 billion Egyptian pounds, on Monday, 17th of November, carrying a fixed yield at 21.561%. Egypt has been diversifying its debt instruments to attract wider investor participation, including Islamic finance tools. The government regularly issues treasury bills and bonds across various maturities, with state-owned banks remaining the main buyers. Finance Minister Ahmed Kojak has stated Egypt will roll out medium-term fiscal strategies, starting with debt management by December. The government aims to sustain private investment growth, boost exports and enhance the business climate. Private investment rose 73% in the past fiscal year. Kojak announced a tax policy document for the first quarter of the next fiscal year, alongside a second package of tax incentives this month to support the stock market, listed companies and VAT refunds. Manufacturing and exports remain national priorities. Egypt's Assay and Weights Administration, the AWA, announced that its X-ray laboratory, the first of its kind in Egypt, Africa and the Middle East, has received accreditation from EJAC and ELAC. The laboratory, the first of its kind in Egypt, Africa and the Middle East, specializes in testing gold and analyzing gold jewelry for purity, compliance with legal standards and quality control. It also handles sensitive samples that could be damaged during testing. The accreditation represents a major advancement in Egypt's gold market, enhancing consumer confidence and ensuring high-quality jewelry standards. Egypt's Meteorology Authority has issued a weather forecast for Cairo and other governorates, warning of temperature fluctuations and potential rainfall. Early mornings are expected to be cool, with daytime temperatures moderate in most regions, hot in southern Upper Egypt and tending to be hot in southern Sinai. Evenings will start moderately warm, cooling late at nights. Cairo temperatures are forecast at a high of 25 degrees Celsius and a low of 17 degrees Celsius. Water mist or fog is expected in northern Egypt, Greater Cairo, northern Upper Egypt and central Sinai, potentially dense on some roads. The EMA also predicts possible thunderstorms with hail in northern coasts and northern Lower Egypt and light to moderate thundery rain in parts of southern Lower Egypt, Halayib, Shalatin, Greater Cairo and Canal cities during the evening. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin, but before we wrap up, here is a recap of the top stories making headlines this hour. Egypt and Saudi Arabia discuss ongoing coordination on bilateral ties and regional issues. Egypt and Turkmenistan discuss investment opportunities. And Egypt's transport minister discusses the Egyptian company's participation in major development projects in Sudan. For more stories and live updates, follow Qnews on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at Qnews EGY. From all of us here, many thanks for watching and stay tuned for more updates on Qnews.